Did you know that 18% of people in North America are saying that they are never going to own real estate in their lifetime? This is 7% higher than from the same study in 2011. Also, the median age to own a home is 45 years of age compared to what the median age was in 1981, which was 31. These are also the same individuals who are delaying having children, having a family, and essentially owning real estate in general. At the start of the pandemic, interest rates in the United States were as low as 2.65% and have recently up to 5.78%, a massive increase compared to what things were at the beginning of the pandemic. Today's inflation is the highest it's been in the last 40 years, alongside with high in gas prices and everything going on in the market, adding on to a perfect shift that's taking place in today's market. Research from Apartment List states that it's a fantastic time to be a real estate investor because it's a lot more difficult for individuals to purchase housing, which means there's a lot more demand for rentals, and also there's a supply shortage. So for any investors who are able to gobble up real estate into the market, it becomes a lot better to get higher rates and get the best return for your money. And for those of you who are not aware of the factors that created this overall housing market, here they are: volatile shift in mortgage rates, low housing inventory, the rising cost of building materials, inflating gas prices, high inflation, and corporations providing cash offers to homeowners to purchase properties to build upon the real estate portfolios. You add all these factors together, it becomes very, very challenging for people to get into the housing market for the very first time, to own a piece of real estate and be able to build long-term wealth. It's providing an immense opportunity for investors, whether small investors or large corporate investors, to purchase real estate, build upon the portfolio, and build the phenomenal wealth that comes with it. And like we mentioned earlier, building costs are going up. The supply is very limited compared to what the demand is. We're having a lot of people migrate to North America at a very accelerated rate, but we're having very little real estate being constructed and built alongside with units as well. So it becomes a lot more challenging for there to actually meet supply and demand. Also, the median home price the last decade has gone up over 30%, where average incomes in that same time frame have only gone up 11%. No wonder why it becomes super challenging and difficult for people to get into home ownership, and just might as well stay in the renters category. And like we said earlier, a lot of corporate entities like BlackRock that are purchasing tons and tons of real estate, adding onto their portfolios. They can help out their shareholders build their wealth, pass off dividends to them as well, and essentially loosening or reducing the amount of supply that is taking place with the ever increasing demand. Now you might be thinking, how are vertical renters going to impact the market? Well, here's how. Number one, impact on economy. In history, home ownership has been preferred over renting, and in the past what was happening is individuals were purchasing real estate young, before they had their families, or while they still had families, going along the way of paying down their mortgages, building their wealth and their equity. So once they hit retirement, their mortgages ideally would be completely done for, and they wouldn't have to pay that amount every single month, whichever the amount is, which means to more money in their pocket every single month. And especially if they have a really good retirement package, such as a pension, it makes it even easier to live a much better life, or a different life come retirement, than individuals who go about renting and have no way to get into home ownership in real estate. Think of it this way: for individuals today who are unable to own real estate at all to any capacity, whether it's on their own, from family, partnering with other individuals, these are going to be the individuals that come retirement ages of 55, 60, 65, they're still going to be renting, which is perfectly fine. It's just the cost is going to continue to go up over time. And it's not like a mortgage where once your 30-year amortization is over, you haven't refinanced and you've gone about paying off your debt. You're actually not having to pay that again. You're still going to have your utility costs. You're still going to have your property tax and insurance and so on. However, it's still going to be less than you overall renting and paying rent every single month and having more wealth being a homeowner. Number two, demand for leasing agents. It's no surprise that many real estate agents not only sell real estate, they also help with the leasing process. You don't necessarily have to go leasing a property all on your own by yourself alongside with the homeowner. You can actually go about working with a real estate agent who works with your best needs. And if you guys need any real estate agents, trust me, we have access to a ton of them in the cloud through our real estate brokerage. So if you need any help with that, please reach out. And now over time, you're going to start noticing that real estate agents will eventually do less listings and less purchases with their clients, and essentially go more on the leasing side, helping with the leasing contract, finding properties, going about the inspection, working alongside with their team to help find the right property for their tenant client. And this is really important, in working with a real estate agent who's going to work with your budget within the parameters, the area, ideally working with a real estate agent who's going to find a property that's close as possible to transit, close to workplaces, close to amenities, close to shopping malls, with the right price range for exactly the best value in terms of the layout of the property, condition. You want to work with someone who's going to be super professional, who's going to get you the best outcome and get you the best property in the area that best suits your needs. Now, because demand is so much higher than supply, there's a lot of pressure on rents. Rents are continuing to rise as there's very little supply, very high demand, leading to rents going up over 20%, if not higher in certain areas, depending on where you're investing. Especially alongside larger metropolitans, where there's a lot of jobs, a lot of transportation, a lot of opportunity for employment opportunities and economic growth, there tends to be a higher demand in terms of rental prices, and then a lot of people tend to want to go to those hubs instead of being further and further away into, let's say, cottage country or even certain suburb areas. They want to be closer to the areas that have the best economic action, close transportation, and overall usually better standard of living. Number 3, real estate digital innovation. Historically, the real estate industry has been one of the slowest, if not one of the last industries to adapt to technological change. However, we're seeing a massive change with many different apps like Zillow and Realtor.ca and Zoocasa that are able to do a lot more than in the past, where the real estate agent had all the access to information and could sway their clients in the direction that best suits them, where now we're noticing clients, renters, there's so much information available that they know exactly what they want before they speak to a real estate agent, have made all their informed decisions, and essentially are telling the real estate professional, hey, guess what? This is what I want in this price range in this area. We've done our due diligence, we've done our research, and we know that we can qualify for this. So please help us find something in this area. Also, real estate agents have access to more digital tools than they have in the past. You have the ability as a real estate agent to have documents signed digitally instead of having to go in person. You have the ability to see comparables digitally right in front of you in mere seconds, rather than having to go through an older paper method of trying to find the listings of sales in the last 3 months, 6 months, or and so on and so forth. And you can go as granular as a street all the way to as far as a country in terms of for sales, transactions. There's so much data and information available that provides a massive opportunity for real estate agents to provide as much value as they can to the renter clients, which potentially down the road could lead to potential clients who eventually get into transaction purchasing. And I know this video is more geared towards tenants who stay in that phase. However, there are many different tenants who start off in the renting phase and eventually get into home ownership based on many different needs. And now, because the Gen Z and millennial generation are very tech savvy, it's very difficult for real estate agents to try to sway their clients the opposite way, which of course is very unethical. But in the past, it was very different because the real estate agents had access to all the information. So essentially they could sway their lease clients, their buyers clients, or their sellers clients to benefit the real estate agent in terms of going for a higher price tag so they can receive a higher commission. Number 4, rentals becoming more prevalent through Realtor's MLS system. Currently, there are a lot of listings that aren't on the MLS because it does have an additional fee attached to it. However, that is slowly starting to change. We're starting to see more listings take place with a lot of information, a lot of value, provided that a lot of renters now know about websites like Zoocasa, Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.ca, provide as much information. So this way, whoever is leasing the property or anyone who's looking to lease has access to more information out there, having more eyes, having a better opportunity of a renter finding a great home, and having an investor be able to have more people see their listing and eventually have a great tenant take over that property. We're in an era where impressions leads to a better opportunity for closing the deal. The more people who are going to see your listing on MLS leads to a higher probability of you having your home leased or sold, or even purchasing a home much sooner than opposed to not having it on a digital platform like MLS and the other ones listed earlier. It's no surprise you're going to see more and more leases appear on the MLS system with a higher demand taking place of rentals, leaving a massive opportunity for investors to use that for their own marketing, as well as for renters to use MLS and Redfin and other ones we mentioned before to find great housing for themselves. And with having more listings on MLS that are on the rental side, you're going to notice more of the following: transparency of rental prices and availability, reduction of fraudulent listing rentals, an increase of compensation for real estate agents through the leasing side, standardization of real estate rental data, an improved process of meeting the needs of a higher volume of renters. There are over 800 MLSs throughout North America working alongside with brokerages, and they state that there are over 2.4 billion in transactions lost by investors or just individuals not posting their listings onto the MLS system. That's a massive missed opportunity for you to get your home sold or get your home rented. Once rentals become more common on the MLS, there provides another opportunity for everyone involved in the real estate space. It's imperative for anyone in the real estate space, especially real estate agents, to have a pulse as to what's going on in the overall market, especially for renters, because by not having your foot on the pulse, it's going to lead to a missed opportunity that you don't want to regret years down the road. All in all, it's a massive opportunity based on what's taking place in the market with forever renters to have your foot on the pulse as a real estate professional, to be able to cater to those individuals, provide the best value and service possible for not only their business, but also for repeat business, and be able to help them down the road in the event that they're in a better space to purchase their first home. I hope that video is super helpful and insightful and gives you everything that you need to know about what's taking place in the forever renter market. I'm Josh Tavares, investor and realtor with the XP Realty Brokerage. It'd be amazing if you can help us out and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to get updates on our newly uploaded content. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Take care.